FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
We have to improve NATO's military capability. Consider the fact that of the 2.4 million soldiers Europe has under arms, only 3 to 4% of them are deployable in expeditionary operations. Consider the dramatic disparity on defence spending, not just between the US and Europe, but within Europe itself. No less than 80% of the defence research spending is by just 2 countries, France and Britain. As President Sarkozy has said, European security cannot rest on the shoulders of 3 to 4 countries. Some of our NATO allies certainly need to spend more. The benefits of common defence imply that every ally carries a fair share of the burden. However, how could this be done beyond the familiar appeals and exhortation that you've probably heard from this podium many, many times? I have 2 proposals. Under current arrangements, those who do the fighting also do the funding, bearing both the risk of casualties and the financial strain. This is neither fair nor sustainable in the long term. We've seen how it's led to large disparities of the funding of the current mission in Afghanistan. When Article 5 was invoked in the wake of 9/11, all NATO members agreed that international terrorism did not just threaten some of us, but threatened all of us. And we all agreed to stand together in confronting that threat. So can it be right, in an alliance which is underpinned by the principle of collective defence, all for one for all, that there can be such a wide difference in how the costs for funding that protection can fall? Can it be right that those nations that make the biggest investment in modernising their capabilities and as a result deploy more frequently, can it be right that they should end up carrying the greatest financial load? We need to look at abandoning the arrangement known as costs lie where they fall and replace it with a common cost-sharing formula for operations to which all allies contribute. Surely the time has come to set up a common operational fund for expeditionary operations. Not only would this help offset the costs of those who are making a substantial military contribution to operations, it would also, I believe, provide a way in which those allies who wanted to participate but currently lack the funding to do so would actually be able to take part in the missions. And it would give everyone a chance to make a contribution. But money is only part of the answer. We also need to find ways of making NATO's stock of equipment more available for our common defence. This again would help share the burden, because it would involve a lot of defensive capability rather than just the offensive capability about which I've been speaking. As Robert Kaplan has suggested, one area where NATO could do more is at sea. Navies make port visits, police sea lanes, provide humanitarian access. The Norwegians, the Germans, the Spanish, and others have been investing heavily in new ships, especially frigates. Kaplan argues that with the US Navy concentrating increasingly on the Pacific, NATO could become the primary naval force to patrol the North Atlantic and the Mediterranean.